Lesson 1-7, multiplying rational numbers. When we multiply rational numbers, we're going to apply the same rules that we used when we multiplied integers. Let's review over these from our interactive notebook. If we look at the face image that was given to us, we see that a positive times a positive is a positive. A positive times a negative is a negative. A negative times a positive is a negative, and a negative times a negative is a positive. When we look at these, we can see that when the signs are the same, we have a positive answer. But when the signs are different, we get a negative answer. These rules are for multiplying integers as well as rational numbers in general. Let's look at question number 5 on page 48 of our book. The question is simply asking us which products are going to be positive. This is applying your rule. If the signs are the same, the answer is positive. If the signs are different, the answer is negative. On our first one, a negative times a positive gives us a negative product. On number 2, a negative times a negative is a positive product. This is one of our answer choices. Part 3, positive times negative. That will be a negative answer. That's not going to be a choice. Number 4, we end up with a negative times 0. Well, 0 is not positive or negative, and anything times 0 is going to be 0. So this is not one of our answers. And our last one, negative times negative, that also is a positive product. As we work through this lesson, we're going to be working with both types of rational numbers, decimal and fraction. You are free to choose between a decimal form or a fraction form when you do your work, except if your fraction turns into a repeated decimal. All right, let's start with number 6, letter A. We have a decimal answer. So get out your calculators, and you can use your calculator to get your product, or if you want to challenge yourself by doing it on paper, you're free to do that. But A, if you use your calculator, you are going to get the product 8 and 99/100ths. B, 1 1/2 times negative 5/3. We see fractions. If we want to go decimals, we have to check to make sure they terminate. 1 1/2 is 1.5. But negative 5/3 is negative 1.6 repeated. We can't use decimals here. So what we need to do is start out by changing this mixed number into an improper fraction. When we do that, we get 2 times 1 plus 1 is 3 halves. And we're going to multiply that by negative 5/3. Now you notice on our original problem, the negative was outside, but in my work, I moved it up with my numerator so I wouldn't lose my negative. Now, I'm going to take a minute and cross-cancel in my problem. That means I'm going to compare the opposite numerator and denominator for common factors. 2 and negative 5 do not have a common factor. Go the other way, 3 and 3, well, they obviously have a common factor because they're both 3's. So I'm going to divide both by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Now I'm going to use these numbers to solve my problem. And I have 1 times negative 5 as my numerator and 2 times 1 as my denominator. When I do my math, 1 times negative 5 is negative 5 over 2 times 1 is 2. I now have the improper fraction negative 5 over 2. When I turn that into a mixed number by dividing it, I get negative 2 and 1/2. Let's go to C. I've got one fraction and one decimal. I need to put these in the same form. Well, I got a decimal, so let's try for decimals. -3.5. Well, 1/2 is 0.5. So my problem is now -3 5/5 times 5/10. You again can put this in the calculator or do it by hand. In the calculator, I will get the product -1.75. Part D, -4/5 times -1/8. Let's try to do this one as a fraction instead of changing it into its decimal. All right, so I have numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. But can I cross cancel anything to make my number smaller? Let's look. The 1 and the 5. Nope, 1 doesn't get any smaller. 4 and 8. They share a common factor of 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now it's time to solve the problem. On the top, we have -1 times -1. And on the bottom, we have 5 times 2. When we work this out, we get +1/10 as our final answer. We're going to do 7, 8, 9, and 10 together, and then I'm going to let you do 11, 12, 13, and 14 on your own to see if you can get them, and I'll give you the answers later. Number 7, it is all in decimal form, so you are free to pick up your calculator and get your answer. When we do that, we end up with -48 and 9,582 10,000ths. Let's go to number 8. We have two fractions. Let's see what happens when we turn them into decimals. Well, 6.5 is 6.5. But -1 5/6. 5/6 is a repeater, so we are going to leave this in fraction form. Let's change them into improper fractions. -1 5/6. 6 times 1 plus 5 is -11/6. And we're going to multiply that by 6.5. 2 times 6 plus 1 is 13/2. If I check for my cross-canceling, 6 and 13 do not share any common factors. -11 and 2 don't share any common factors, so I have to leave my numbers alone. If we multiply across the numerators, -11 times 13 is -143. On my denominators, 6 times 2 is 12. I get the improper fraction -143/12. If we convert that into its mixed number, we get -11 and 11/12. Number 9. There's that 1/2 again. It's a 0.5. But if you're starting to catch on, 2/3 is a repeater. Let's leave this in fraction form and change them to improper fractions. -2.5 is -5/2. And we're going to multiply it by -1 2/3, which is -5/3. Let's check our cross-canceling. -5 and 3 don't have any common factors. -5 and 2, no common factors. So we're going to multiply straight across the numerator and denominator. -5 times -5 is +25. 2 times 3 is 6. I get the improper fraction of 25/6. And when we change that into a mixed number, we get 4 whole and 1/6. Number 10. -3 7/8 times -5 3/4. You know what? 8s and 4s terminate. So let's turn this into a decimal. -3 7/8. -3 is my whole number, so it's going to go to the left of my decimal, and I'm going to divide 7/8. 7 divided by 8 is 0.875. And I'm going to multiply that by -5 3/4. -5 is my whole. It goes to the left of my decimal. And 3/4 is equivalent to 0.75. And when I get my calculator, I get my answer of positive 22 and 28,125 100,000ths, or 22.28125. All right, so 11, 12, 13, and 14, you are going to try on your own, and if you have questions, you're going to come and meet with me during our distance learning hour. But before that, let's do a word problem together. Number 15. At the beginning of the season, Jamie pays full price for a ticket to see the Panthers, her favorite baseball team. The Panthers currently have 33 wins and 31 losses. Part A. Represent the total change in the cost of a ticket given their losses. Well, let's look at that newspaper. It says that the ticket prices decrease 41 cents for every game they lose this season. Well, if we look at that, they had 31 losses. So on part A, we got to figure out how much their season ticket is going to change. In order to do that, we know that it is a 41-cent decrease. That is negative 41 cents. And that happens for every game, but they lost 31 games. So we need to multiply it by the 31 losses, and we find out that they are going to lose $12.71 off the cost of each ticket. Part B, what is the cost of a ticket for the next game they play? Let's apply the change. If we look here on the ticket stub, the original game price was $49.64. And we need to decrease it, so negative $12.71. Now, I'm sure you're asking, Miss Long, could I just have subtracted there? Absolutely. But if you were going to subtract it, make sure you remember that your subtraction sign is the negative sign on your number. Either way you do this problem, the new ticket price is going to be $36.93. All right, I want you to finish lesson 1-7. That means you're doing 11 through 14 and then all of page 50. If you have any questions, I want you to meet with me online and I will get them answered for you. Have a good rest of your day.